Good morning, guys. It's 9:30 in the morning, 9:38 to be exact, and I'm over here at the terminal. So that first load I was telling y'all about last night. It was going. It's supposed to be a local run. I'm not sure if I told y'all about it or not, but ended up being a run to one of the local furniture stores that we do quite often, and it opened at 7. But the bill bag, once I got the bill bag last night, it said I had two sets of bills in there. One for a local store that opened at 9 o'clock, and then the other one for the one that opened at 7, which was going to be my second stop. So I woke up at like 6:45, got dressed, wiped off with baby wipes and everything, and brushed my teeth and all. And then the guy comes out, it was like 7:10 or something. He's like, why haven't you left yet? Aren't you supposed to be over there at such and such? And I was like, well, yeah, but my first stop don't open until 9. And he said, well, let me look at that. So he looked at it, and he's like, man, somebody left all these bills in this bag that wasn't supposed to be there. And he said, let me go check it out and make sure everything's packed right. So he went and did that, and so I went inside and talked to the terminal manager, since he told me to he wanted to introduce himself today. So I went in there, it's about 7:15, 7:20 now. And I talked to him, and then one of the day cab drivers comes in. He's like, oh, if you're not over there at 7, that guy, he's a real asshole. He's going to have a stroke if you're not there on time. And I'm like, and this is in front of like the terminal manager and everything, the warehouse manager and all. I'm just like, well, if the paperwork's wrong, I don't know what you want me to do, And I was like, if he really has that big of a problem, I'll just leave it laying in his loading dock and let somebody else figure it out. Obviously, I wasn't going to do that, but I think that day cab driver, I think he's just been with the company for a little while, and he thinks he's like an important person around here. So, yeah. I went over there. The guy was super nice. I was like, and it ended up being a drop. So I just dropped the trailer, and it was like literally 2.5 miles down the street. I went there, dropped the trailer, and then came back, and that should pay at least $1,000 to the truck after all expenses. And I've been sitting here for oh, there goes my phone. I've been sitting here for about an hour and a half. Sorry about that. Yeah, I've been sitting here about an hour and a half just waiting on the next load. They're supposed to have me another one already ready to go, but somebody dropped the ball on that. The trailer was loaded and ready to leave, but somebody in the office forgot to call and schedule the delivery and do all the paperwork for it. So we ended up not being able to do that. And then they're supposed to be working on a load for me right now. I was sitting in the office, kind of keeping in their view so they know not to, slack off, because out of sight, out of mind. I didn't want to just be out of the way. I wanted to make myself present, but I decided to give them a little bit of space. I'm not in that big of a hurry. I don't want to give them a little bit of slack today and then end up them slacking for the rest of the week or whatever. So, it's politics. I'm trying to be a team player. That's what's hard for me, because if they need me to do something, like my dispatcher back home, if she needs me to do something, I'll do it even if it pays less, just to stay, just to be a team player, to help them out when they need help, and they help me out if I need help with something, or if I want to take some extra days off or something. I just don't want to be a shitty person, a shitty employee, or even I guess I'd be a contractor for them, since I'm technically own my own business. But yeah, if you it goes a long ways to help people out, and then they help you out. So I'm trying to give them some space in there. I know that, like I said, it's her first time ever dispatching, and the main dispatcher's off, so they're trying to get a lot done, plus the holidays and everything. So man, I'm sweating too, look at that. But I went ahead and came outside, talked to my buddy on the phone for a while, and then I greased my fifth wheel, and that's about it. Cleaned. I stepped in grease. Some truck, I don't know who it was, but there's a pile of grease on the pavement somewhere, probably between my truck and the building, the front door, and I stepped on it in my boot. And I climbed back in the truck to grab something real quick before I think they need to see my paperwork, so I climbed up in the truck, grabbed my paperwork, and then ran it back in. And I now have fifth wheel grease, or I don't know if it's fifth wheel. I now have grease all in the cab of my truck on the floor mats that I just spent a couple hours of my life cleaning this weekend. I've got carpet, and I like waking up to the carpet, but I've got carpet in the front seats and right here around the steering, the gear shift. I have like I guess it's a 4-piece set made for this truck specifically. And yeah, I like it in the back. I don't think I like it as my floorboard up here. But when I get home, I'm gonna have to take them all out and pressure wash them, and then hopefully get it done right and make them look good again. But I do want to buy at least a rubber floor mat for the front of my truck. I don't know about the back. I know that the Petro outside of Kansas City, I think it's what, the 26 or the 29, something on 70 right there. I think it has those like just normal floor mats, like a little rug, like a little carpet rug. That's like 3 foot wide by a foot or 2 foot, probably 2 foot. I don't know who would have a 1 foot wide rug, but they have those there. I was thinking about buying one of those once. They're not too expensive, but that way I can like roll it up and put it out of the way if I need to, but then at the same time I can lay it down also, and then use it whenever I want to. So like this rug in the back, it goes behind both of the seats, the driver's and passenger seat. So it's like, I don't know, 5 foot wide at that point, and then it gets smaller to go around the fridge and the dresser back here. But yeah, I think they're on the way out here. I'll talk to you guys later. Alright guys, so I'm back here at the terminal. I'm not sure exactly what I was doing last time I talked to you. I know I was sitting at the terminal and they were getting my load ready. I think that's what was happening. They finally got a load ready. One of them, they got a couple loads ready, and somebody in the office was dropping the ball and not calling ahead of time, so they had to keep switching loads until they found one that I could deliver. But the problem was, by the time they got it loaded, it was like I think I left here at 12 o'clock after I got the trailer hooked up and everything, and I think there was like 8 stops on it, which the furthest one I think was like 17 miles, so it really wasn't far at all. There's a retirement home I had to go to, which the guy there, the maintenance guy, was telling me that he's a naturalist, so he doesn't like spray weed killer or prune trees or anything like that. So all the trees was hanging down. I think when I got back here and parked the trailer and unhooked, I had like a 3 foot stick hanging off the back of my truck, where I was trying to get down those little roads in that little retirement community. But it really wasn't too bad, except, like I said, I left at 12 o'clock, so that's lunchtime for a lot of people. So it was there's some traffic, and then I had 8 stops, and I was actually hauling a 40-foot trailer, so it was the first time I never had a full-size trailer, so that was kind of cool. I made it to my first stop, got it unloaded, and I think I got 3 or 4 more unloaded, and then I guess I can count them real quick. Yeah, so out of, I think, the 8, I had all but 3 that I didn't get to. They closed at 3 o'clock today, so I caught them at like right at 2:45 when I got done with the I caught them at 2:45 when I got done at the retirement home, and yeah, they were like, well, we stopped receiving at 3, and if you can't get here by then you're gonna have to reschedule it. And I was like, oh, that's all right. There's not really another option for me to do it, so I went ahead and brought it back to the yard. And then there was a piece, a train. There was a 97 piece order I had that they needed the at least a 48-hour notice as well, so I didn't. That I already knew I wasn't going to get off. They said I could try, but they closed at 2 o'clock. So I left here at 12, and then my last 3 stops closed at 3 o'clock and 2 o'clock. My last stop closed at 2, and then my second 2 to last closed at 3. So they kind of made it really impossible for me to get it done with traffic and the amount of other stops I had. And then I think the first stop I had over 30 pieces at it, which it just didn't give me a lot of time. And then the second stop I had to blindside back in a super tight spot. This one trucker was out. I guess he was waiting to get in his truck and leave, but he was watching me the whole time. And you know, you get inside your head, I'm like, man, this guy's watching me. He's probably like, what the hell is this guy doing? But I get out and I went over to talk to him, and I was like, man, that didn't work out too good for me, did it? He's like, man, you have a sleeper truck and pulling in here. He's like, you made it look pretty easy. I'm like sweating, I'm like pouring the sweat. But it is what it is. It was a pretty good day. That first load, I think, paid around $1,500, at least $1,000 to the truck. Hopefully around $1,500 though, depending on how much interline was in there. And then my second load would have paid $5,700, but I know the 97 pieces that I didn't get off was at least 2,000 of that. So that made that $5,700 go down to $3,700, and plus I had the other 2 stops I didn't get off. So I don't know how much it's going to end up being, but I wouldn't have been doing anything else if I didn't take that load. So I'm not out anything there. You know, whatever I made was extra. I mean, I think I'd still have over 3/4 of a tank of fuel. So that was 2 loads I got to do without having to really put any fuel in it. My load for tomorrow is going up north of Seattle. It's starting, like, I forgot the name of the town, but right above Seattle, and it's going all the way up to pretty much Canada, like right to the border. But I think Fernside, something like that. So it's going to take me, well, I walked in there, I was actually going to hook up. They handed me the paperwork like it was done, so I actually drove over to the trailer and backed into it like I was about to hook up. But I decided to get out and go look at the back of the trailer and make sure it was closed up and the straps on and everything before I pulled it out of the dock. And there's 3 pieces on the trailer, so I went inside to talk to him, and it's like, is that something that we're looking at getting done today or tomorrow morning? And there's only one guy left in the warehouse today working, so and he's been here all day. So me and the warehouse manager was talking, and they'll just get here first thing in the morning, finish my trailer off, and I should be able to leave by 9 o'clock, by 8 o'clock. They said hopefully get the trailer loaded by 8:30. But if I leave here by 9, I should be able to, I'll get by some of the traffic. I know it's like 43 miles away, my first stop. They don't open till 10 a.m. So I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night and leave to beat the traffic, because then I'll be sitting till 10 a.m. at their location. So I'll probably just leave around 9 and get there as soon as I can, and not to burn up my clock. But it would have been best if I hooked up to the trailer now, drove up there while I had 5 hours left on my 14. I would have drove up there, stayed in their parking lot, because I looked it up ahead of time, and their parking lot was plenty big enough for a truck. So I would have stayed there, woke up with a fresh 14-hour clock tomorrow, got all the stops off, and been back down here, and depending on where my next load was, been able to switch trailers out and make my way toward the next place and be ready and staged. But it didn't work out. But at the same time, maybe I'm just being a little too needy, you know. Sometimes I'm afraid of that. Like the $1,500 load for 6 miles this morning. I mean, if I'm doing that, then, and then they tried to give me another one, you know, you can't really be that much pushier. I mean, they tried to get this, they got this trailer worked out and everything. Everybody's called and everything, so everybody should take the order. And it pays good. I think it pays $3,700, and you know, I get 55% of that. And there shouldn't be much interlining there, but there is 11 stops, so hopefully I can get it all done and not get stuck in any crazy traffic. And I even looked. Let's look real quick to see. Oh, it's inside my deal. I want to look to see if any of them have crazy hours. I can't stand when people only work until 2 o'clock. Yep, the first one's 10 to 5, 10 to 6, 9 to 4, 9 to 5, 9 to 5, 10 to 6, 9:30 to 4:30. The earliest one that closes is at 4 o'clock. And it's my very last stop. I don't think they... And that's the furthest one away. That's the one most north, like up toward the border of Canada. So my first one opens at 10. My last one closes at 4, and I've got 11 stops in between it. So it should be fun to see if I can get that done. I did order some Chinese food for dinner from Uber Eats. And like I said, it's gonna be hard to get back on this diet. I've ate good the rest of the day, just drank water, and I think I ate an egg this morning. And then last night, I didn't eat anything, but I ate that chicken yesterday morning, and then I told y'all I was going to start the diet. Then last night, I ate a pack of tuna and 2 eggs. So that was 70s, 140. Oh yeah, I think the tuna is 70 calories too, so 210. I mean, so I was probably under 2,000 calories yesterday. And I haven't ate anything today, so I should still be under 2,000 calories now. It's just not going to be healthy calories. So, but that's life. I mean, a lot of people say it's just hard to do when you're a truck driver, but the reality is, I got fat after the Marine Corps, so I was at home when I got fat. So if I'm at home or if I'm here, it doesn't make a difference. for a reason. If you're going to be fat, you're going to be fat. I mean, it's just, it doesn't matter what you're doing if you don't have the discipline, which obviously I'm finding out right now. It's been hard to find that discipline, but yeah, a lot of people blame it on their external surroundings and limits and all that. And well, I'm just surrounded by food at the truck stops, and you know, I was in a hurry, so I had to get fast food, or healthy food's too expensive. All those are just ways for you to lie. I mean, at the end of the day, you can buy a salad pretty cheap. You can buy broccoli fairly cheap. You can buy, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, it might not be organic and all that, but there's a lot of stuff that you can get for a pretty good price. Like when I go to Taco Bell, I don't spend $5. My meal's usually like $11, $12. So I'm not convinced that eating out or eating unhealthy is cheaper than eating healthy. You know, you go to Wendy's or something, get a double cheeseburger, you're looking at what, $8? I mean, so yeah, you're not getting you can eat a pretty big salad or something, or whatever, grilled chicken, you can make that at home way cheaper than that. And especially if you buy a lot of stuff, you know, you can cut that chicken up, use it for 2 meals or whatever, and buy a whole bag of broccoli and split that up between 4 or 5 meals, and that'll save you all kinds of money. So, and in my truck I have that Road Pro 12 volt frying pan thing I bought, which I'm not happy with. I've got a refrigerator with a freezer in it. I've got a microwave. I've got a George Foreman. I have a rice cooker. I have a couple pots and pans. I mean, I've got everything I need in here that a house will have. So there's no excuse for me to be fat. You know, it's just me personally. That's what's causing me to be fat, not because I'm a truck driver. I mean, not doing anything, not walking around a lot during the day, that's probably one thing, and probably bad for my circulation. That's one of the main things I worry about as a truck driver is blood clots. I'm just sitting constantly. That can't be good. But if I lost weight, I'm sure that would help out a little bit, or a lot actually. You know, I mean, everything that you add on to your system is probably going to make it worse. So if I could figure out one thing and stick with it long enough to, you know, get healthy, or at least get that part of me healthy, then I think anything would be better than just eating whatever I want, whenever I want, and never walking and never doing exercise. You know, I've got dumbbells in here I haven't been using. So that's my rant about me needing to buckle down and get on the right path. But like I said, it's hard. But it was hard before I was a truck driver too, so I can't use that as an excuse. But I do find that it's easier to do diets. I do them a lot longer when I'm in the truck than when I'm at home. Like when I'm at home, before I was a truck driver, I couldn't stay on diets for as long as I do now. But I've easily had, you know, 3, 4 week, 5 week runs on my diets, and then I'll take a week off or whatever and then do it again. Or sometimes I'll end up getting a month or 2 off, and in that month or 2, it's like I know I'm off the diet, and if I eat like one bad thing, it's like, well, I might as well eat something else today bad too before I start my diet again tomorrow. And then that tomorrow never comes. Then, you know, it's the next day, and then the next day. So then the next 4 or 5 days, a whole month, I'm just in this mentality to eat everything I can, and I'm just, you know, gaining a ton of weight. So then I'd gain everything back, and then I'd lose it back. But one day I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. But, so this was a 17-minute rant, apparently. I wasn't looking. I wasn't even paying attention. I'm not even sure what I was talking about, but I guess that's what a vlog is, you know. You just talk to a camera and kind of tell about your day, or yeah, pretty video log. So yeah, logging your day. Dear diary, this is Thomas. But yeah, I'll talk to y'all. What time is it? It's 8 p.m. 8:76. It's 5:15 p.m. here, and I will be going to. I guess I'll be off like 14 hours waiting on them to load my trailer in the morning, then leave here around 9, get up there by 10, and get those 11 stops off as quick as possible. But sounds fun. I made plenty of money today, and I looked at my bank account, and I got paid for 2 loads already. So each load, each trip I do, I get a settlement sheet, which they're actually back home in North Carolina at that terminal. So what I do here is I turn in those the bill bags here. They process it and then ship it overnight to North Carolina, and then North Carolina is who pays me. So they direct deposited 2 already, and I did the one up here, the one down to Bend, and then the one down to Medford, and then the one to Spokane, and then the 2 today. So I did 6. I've been paid for 2, and I think the first one was I can't remember how much exactly, $25.40 something, and the other one was $25.50 something. So it was, all in all, it was like right at $5,000 for my first 2 loads, which, if you remember, I left on a Monday. I delivered that second load on Monday, so that was 8 days for that load. Monday night I headed down to start, or Monday night, Tuesday morning I started my 3rd load, which I think that was for around 3,000 or something too, so that should be like 12 to 1,500 to the truck. So I'm at 5,000 so far that I've made up here, and I think I did the math earlier. I should be around 8,500 so far, which it's only been 2 weeks and a couple days, so 8,500 isn't bad. And then with tomorrow's, that's a day trip, and then I'm not sure what they're going to give me, but I know they're going to need to start routing me back over to Idaho, so I can pick up a backhaul and head east and be home in time for vacation, which I'll be home either Thursday or Friday. So I've got another week up here, or another week and a few days up here, counting my trip home. So yeah, I probably shouldn't be complaining as much as I am, but yeah, just sometimes you're just eager to work, and you're up here, and you know, when my buddy was up here, my mentor was up here helping, he was setting the loads up really good for me too, and maybe that just made me spoiled, you know. I'm up here away from home for a month, so I feel like I should get paid more than what I normally get paid, which, you know, my 10-day trips, I'm usually bringing home about 4,900, 5,000. So, you know, so with a week off after that, 5 days off, so it kind of just, it just depends really what kind of mood you're in. But yeah, I always feel like I should work, if I'm up here away from home, I should work as hard as I can while I'm here and run myself to death, so then I feel like it was worth the time out and I made as much money as I possibly could. So, but yeah, I'm gonna probably watch a movie, edit a YouTube video, get my Chinese food, be fat and happy in the back of my truck in the AC, nice and relaxed, and I'll talk to you guys in the morning.